The media, they're not even bothering to try to hide their impeachment cheerleading at this point. Now, this is an actual headline from today's Washington Post. Adam Schiff once wanted to be a screenwriter. Can he give the Trump presidency a Hollywood ending? Can you believe that? Nice going, Jeff Bezos. Democrats and the media think everything is like a movie, and they believe the fictional alternative universe of Tinseltown is actually reality. Joining me now, Charlie Kirk, founder and president of Turning Point USA, and Dinesh D'Souza, conservative author and an actual filmmaker. Dinesh is just hype for like an Amazon series on superhero Adam Schiff, who saves us from a corrupt sitting president, or they just really that out of touch with reality. It's actually, it read like a parody, actually. Worse than Adam Schiff's parody.
Well, I think, ironically, that this notion of Adam Schiff as a kind of fictional screenwriter and director, as somebody who has concocted a narrative, as somebody who has, in a way, set up the action, is trying to direct it, is trying to stage the witnesses, choreograph a kind of climactic conclusion. In a way, this is actually a rivetingly accurate description, because this whole thing, just like the Mueller report, by the way, is staged. It's trumped up, if you will. What they've done is Schiff was collaborating, of course, with the whistleblower. So in a sense, he's sort of like an actor who's himself part of the plot, except he's kept himself off stage, right, so people can't see what was discussed beforehand. So the whole thing, yes, it is staged. Yes, it is fiction. It might be riveting, but it's also fake news.
Charlie, there's also another part of this that's fictional that continues to be played up in the media. They're just pretend scenarios that no one can confirm because it's always off the record or anonymous. Listen to these comments by media figures who claim that Republicans are secretly hoping that Trump's leaving office. Watch.
I've heard from my Republican colleagues privately, from some of them, that I should not interpret their vote as indication that they will vote against impeachment.
I hear from Republicans who say, I'm exhausted. I'm tired of his bull. I'm tired of the drama.
If there was a secret ballot in the United States Senate, I think Trump would lose 90-10.
If there were a secret ballot in the Senate this morning, Mike Pence would be president by noon.
Charlie, blowhard central. But
pretty extraordinary. Well, look, when you're writing a crime novel or a crime film, there's something called plotting backwards, where you start with the villain, you start with the crime, and you work backwards. It seems like Schiff did this when it came to the whistleblower and it came to this entire narrative of Ukraine. He started with, we want Donald Trump to be removed as president of the United States, and then it seemed he went through whatever actions it took to try to make that happen. Meeting with the whistleblower and lying about it, changing the whistleblower rules, which actually wouldn't have been defined as a whistleblower, as Greg Jarrett previously mentioned. And we have to point out that the Washington Post, 19 minutes after this president was sworn in, 19 minutes after he was sworn in, they said the case for impeaching Donald Trump begins. This is a premeditated impeachment. And Adam Schiff, boy, I think he might have missed his calling in Hollywood, but he's still drumming up fake fictional stories. And as Dinesh accurately pointed out, not only is he making the stories, he's part of this sort of intergovernmental espionage against a duly elected president.
Yeah, Dinesh, that's well stated, Charlie. And Dinesh, part of me just doesn't even take any of this seriously. Okay, I take issues seriously, like what's happening with China on the move and in Australia, in places like Africa, buying up interests, making deals. That's the future we're going to have to deal with. The idea that the Democrats give a you-know-what about Ukraine aid is they care about one thing. What do they care about, Dinesh? Getting power back, right?
Yeah, absolutely. This is all a ruse. And, the problem with their fictional narrative, as I see it, is that reality keeps intruding upon it. So here you got this guy, Vindman, and he keeps telling, I was very troubled with what I saw on the call. It made me feel very uncomfortable. The problem is we have the transcript of the call. We don't need a fellow in a uniform to tell us how he felt about it and how he was grieved about it and troubled about it, because we know what was actually said upon the call. So the problem here is that you can choreograph all you want, but at the end of the day, there's reality, and reality is staring you in the face.